Hi everyone, Carolyn here. Sorry, that's my dog deciding that he wants to play too. I'm trying to teach him to lay down and to eat treats out of a toy so that he can leave me alone while I tape, but sometimes it doesn't work. Anyway, welcome to Encounter Encouragement. Last night we talked about forgiveness and I gave some examples and I explained that I forgave because I had to let go of the heavy weights and chains that were holding me down. But I know that didn't go very in depth. So tonight I want to talk to you about the fact that forgiveness is not a one-size-fits-all. It is not a one-hit wonder, and it is not a one and done. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes a lot of repetition. So first let's look at first, if at first you don't succeed. How about we put it that way? So let's go back to the stories that I told last night. The guy that I knew who came into my house and robbed my house. After that happened, I had a difficult time looking at any of those coin holders that he had completely emptied on me of $140 or so. I couldn't look at those things hardly because I knew that was a reminder that he had come into my house and he had injured me. He had harmed me in that way. Here's a strange one that I didn't mention last night. There was silver tinsel in one of my drawers that I was, storing for Christmas. And when I came home that weekend to find my house broken into, there was tinsel hanging out in one of the drawers. And I could not look at tinsel. I couldn't put tinsel on my tree that year for Christmas. It just bothered me. I couldn't do it because it reminded me of what had happened. So it came up over and over again in different situations for different reasons. Now, let's look at the car burglar, the person who broke into my car. But to be fair, nothing was broken on my car. It was certainly, ransacked, but nothing was broken, which then makes me think, hey, it's a new car. You're not used to using one of the little clicker remotes to open the doors. Did you forget to lock the car? You can't forget to unlock it because you have to get in, but did you forget to lock it before you went in for the night? So now I'm second guessing myself and it makes me mad again because somebody got into my car, maybe through my own fault, and took things that belonged to me. So I sat in my car and I thought about all the different places I could hide my money. Ooh, look up there. Ooh, what about, oh, I like these places. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. He's already been there. I remember that was open. Yep, that was tipped over. Yep, he'd been there. Oh yeah, he looked in there, opened the eyeglass case. Everywhere I thought of, he had already thought of. So now I'm frustrated again because where do I hide the little bit of cash that I keep in the car? So move on to the person who made me feel very uncomfortable with their request. This one is more recent. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how dare they put me in a situation that I'm going to be in trouble? How dare they do that? Oh, excuse me. So I'm working through that one. But as I'm working through it, I'm kind of still plotting my revenge. What can I do, right? Oh, excuse me again. Now, think of forgiveness like a broken bone, okay? A broken bone, what do we do when we get diagnosed with a broken bone? We go and see a doctor, okay? What does the doctor do? The doctor checks, does x-rays, makes sure that yes, this indeed is a broken bone. So now it's been confirmed, we've been injured, let's put a cast on it. Okay, now we've got the cast on it. And he's going to send us home with rice, yes, rice, meaning rest, ice, compression, and elevation. In addition to that, he wants you to take your meds for pain and for inflammation, maybe for itching too, for all I know. But you have to go through all these steps in order to get healed, okay? The same thing applies to forgiveness. It isn't, it's broken, put a cast on it, slap, bam, I'm out of here, we're done. It doesn't work that way. It's a time-honored process, just like healing a broken bone. So when you are injured in the realm of, I need to forgive somebody, you have to recognize the injury. So you may go to somebody and confirm with them that, yeah, I heard them say what you think they said, okay? Be careful who you talk to about this situation because it can always be brought back up at you, okay? So take it to a trusted friend and only a trusted friend. Then what do you do once your injury has been confirmed? You have to wrap your wounds. So what do? You wrap them in all that hatred, that bitterness, that negativity, that anger, that resentment, that frustration. You wrap it all up and you hold on to it. Okay? Then you give it some rest. Okay? You forget about it a little bit here and there. In both cases, the broken bone and the forgiveness injury, while in that cast, you are healing. Slowly but surely, your bone is being knit back together in the way that it's supposed to be put back together. Your emotional wounds are healing as well. They take time. So don't expect that it's going to heal overnight. Now, I've given you some examples from what happened yesterday to how this is going to take time. It's not going to be a one and done. You do have to take the time. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to go about letting go and breaking free of those chains that are binding us, freeing ourselves from that cast, freeing ourselves from that emotional wrapping that's holding us in that negativity. We're going to figure out how to let that go and truly be able to live in a state of memory, but not the emotions of any given event in our past. So any injury we've had, any emotional distress, any time somebody's done something wrong to us, we're going to be able to recall it, but let it go emotionally. So I look forward to talking with you about that tomorrow night. If you have any comments, I want you to know that this video was done as a request because what we unpacked last night wasn't quite enough to fulfill what forgiveness is really about. And I could talk for days and never be over it because, again, it's not a one-hit wonder. One size doesn't fit all. Everybody has to go through different things at different times, different situations, different intensity levels. So we'll talk more tomorrow, but if you have comments tonight about any of this, feel free to let me know, and maybe we can unpack a little bit of your baggage too. You know, I let mine out there, so if you want to let a little bit of yours out anonymously, we can handle that. So I really look forward to talking to you again tomorrow night to unpack a little bit more of this forgiveness story. But until then, I hope you have a really great night. Be blessed. Thanks.